I swear that I've heard people say that touching grass is quite overrated. It's not something that really you need to do. It's not something that produces any results. And that really dogs on the idea of going out, maybe getting a social life, trying your best to make friends, date, stuff like that. Some of the common activities that involve having really just a healthier social life, not being online as much, not paying as much of attention to social media and believing and kind of engulfing yourself in the internet culture. I think people said to go touch grass for all those reasons, because we're so locked into technology, we're so locked into online life, a fake lifestyle, that it's hard to really believe in reality. It's hard to understand that anymore. So you want to go touch grass. And again, a lot of people have kind of made fun of that idea because they think it doesn't work, or it's harder to make communications with other people than it ever has been. And that part of it, I will give some credence. I do think it is very hard to go make a social life for yourself, be better at making friends. But the effort is definitely worth it to put in my opinion. And I'm going to explain and talk about that because a lot of people, again, especially in this niche community of old style commentary videos that again have seemed to make a comeback. People have said that touching grass and trying to make friends in social circles, it's kind of like you just might as well give up. But especially with my recent experience here in working out on the West Coast of the United States in the last few weeks and continuing to do so, it's definitely been a very tight-knit work circle, basically, really having to kind of dig in with all my other coworkers recently that are of my same age, getting to know them, hanging out with the other people that are specifically doing my role as well, one of the four doing my role. It's been incredibly refreshing, and the reason is because it's felt like everybody's kind of acquaintances, everybody's kind of been friends, getting along pretty well, getting to share stories and doing stuff like going out together, hanging out back at the resort, hanging out at the hotels, going out to eat and stuff together, and it's really been refreshing. It's kind of felt like you're in college again, or you're back in high school almost to a degree, where you had your friend circles you're going to hang out with consistently, and you had that kind of natural connection. Even though obviously everybody has a phone still, it's like, because of all the in-person connection, having to do stuff together all the time, every day, literally 7 days a week, it's made it feel, very wholesome, and I haven't felt like my social circle has been this fulfilled in such a long time. And even going back to the last few months I was spending back in Missouri, kind of working and just trying to set myself up to come be able to do this for a couple months, it was kind of the usual routine where everybody is, including myself, talking about feeling alone, where you kind of just go to work, go to the gym, go work on some other stuff on the computer at home, and go scroll. Otherwise you're scrolling or doom scrolling on social media, watching crap, kind of hanging around. Not really going out with anybody, not really having a lot of friends to talk to all the time, and just being outright bored a lot with that. So again, this recent experience that I've had, it's really solidified to me that if you can, and if you're out there struggling with the social life, trying to make friends, and you're just thinking it's not even worth trying to put in the effort, I would definitely disagree with that. And I would not fall into that doomeristic mindset, something that I talked about in one of my first videos. Don't be a doomer. Don't get into that trap. Don't think that it's over. Don't think that it wouldn't be worth it to maybe go take a chance, go join a club, go do something outside of your comfort zone, go try to make a couple of friends, doing an activity you like, anything along the lines of that. Just try to make something happen socially in person, definitely. Ask a girl out if that's what you're tripping over, whatever it is. I would say you really need to go and do that, because I've started to get a little bit of a bounce back in that social world realm, and it's kind of changed my perspective again. Like, wow, it's refreshing to be outside of that, go to work in a job you hate and just collect the paycheck, go home, go do your simple tasks. This is doing something rapid, doing something with a group every day in person, getting to know people. It's just very refreshing, and that's probably also one of the best parts of my position in getting to meet so many people across the country and getting to hang out with groups a lot. It definitely is a refreshing social setting. And to second that, not just this example, I would say this is why it's worth it to try and quote-unquote touch grass. I wouldn't just say in this role, but in my roles as the voice of a baseball team over 3 different summers that I've done now, and especially the last 2. It's great when you get to kind of hang out with everybody. You are acquaintances with many of the players. You see them all the time. So you're getting to talk with them, learn a little bit about their story. You're getting to talk with other people, other broadcasters that are also in the leagues that you're covering. You're getting to know all these people from different places that have different backgrounds. And it just makes you really want to get to open up, really want to talk to people, and it gets that genuine connection, kind of like people used to have before the age of the internet and everything in mass communications. Of course, ironic that that's what's putting us there, is that mass communication aspect. But again, if you can show up to somewhere consistently and sort of talk to people that are somewhat like you, somewhat your age, doing all that, you're making friends, like it's definitely a worthwhile thing to go and try. And don't fall for that trap when people are saying, yeah, bro, it's over. You can't even go out, make any friends. It's impossible. There's nowhere to go. I don't feel like doing it. I'm unmotivated. Not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's worthwhile. And this is coming from somebody that has always been kind of introverted, struggled to make friends in high school, struggled to really talk to people, get outside my comfort zone, but doing that and really getting these most recent roles, getting this most recent experience has just confirmed to me that it's definitely the right way to go. It's kind of cool to try and hold it in and be somebody that, I'll just go lone wolf and try to not make a ton of friends, try to make it on my own, and it never works well like that. It's always very hard to advance yourself. Yes, socially, of course, and then in a lot of other ways as well, your career, financially. The more people you know, the more people you're friends with, acquaintances with, that can trust you and like you as a person, the more help you're going to receive from those people. And so being insular, not touching grass, as they would say, it's not going to really help you in your life, and so don't go that route. But guys, just some of my thoughts on today's video talking about touching grass, because again, I swear I've heard a lot of people shoot down the idea of trying to better yourself socially, and it just never really pans out. You never really see the improvement that you need to in order to advance yourself. And it's definitely an issue because I do feel like, again, specifically in this community, the videos you might be recommended off of mine would probably counter my argument, and they would make some good points, but I don't believe that's the way to go. So just want to give my 2 cents in talking about this, but hope you guys are doing well. Again, doing a little bit of the slower commentary. We're following up off the last video because of its success. Of course, the train could end on any of these, and I don't know that I'll stick with this slower commentary style as opposed to getting my points quickly across and almost an appreciation of everybody's time. But I'm starting to think that, again, maybe slowing it down a little bit more could be the way to go, because one thing that I talked about in these videos earlier on, especially with just the simpleness of putting some Call of Duty footage or something on the screen, it's kind of the anti-dopamine, anti-quick fix, highly edited video style. And when you kind of clip the audio together, I think sometimes that makes your brain think it's sort of going back to that. Because if you watch like an Instagram reel or a TikTok video, it's very much edited like, again, my audio was in the prior videos, to where you're getting to the point quickly. And I think people appreciate that in a sense, but perhaps not as much on these videos. And so, again, we're trying it out for this one. But thank you guys again so much for watching. Follow the socials down below if you haven't done that already. Subscribe to the channel. Check all those things out. It's got a little bit more of the updates on what I'm doing day to day. And on my sports side, that's definitely down there too. That's where I'm really uploading on Instagram every day right now. So be sure to follow that too. Thank you again. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys soon.